How long, Lord? Will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I wrestle with my thoughts and day after day have sorrow in my heart? These are the words of David in Psalm chapter 13, verses 1 to 2. This is a raw and honest prayer from David, where he expresses deep emotional and spiritual despair. He doesn't mask his confusion or pain. He brings it before God. It reminds us that even the most faithful people in the Bible had moments when God felt silent. Have you ever felt like your prayers hit the ceiling and bounce right back? You try to have faith. You try to trust. You say all the right words. You sing all the worship songs. But inside, something feels broken. You're slipping, slowly, quietly. There comes a moment in every believer's life when the silence feels louder than the promises. You've prayed, you've trusted, you've done everything you know to do, and still nothing. No breakthrough, no sign, just stillness. In that silence, doubt starts to whisper, "Did God forget me? Am I doing something wrong?" If you've ever wrestled with those thoughts, you're not alone. Even King David cried out in Psalm 13, "How long, Lord? Will you forget me forever?" He was a man after God's own heart, and yet even he had nights where the silence was unbearable. So if you're in that place right now, take it from me. Your doubt doesn't disqualify you. Your pain doesn't make your faith any less real.
Meet Rachel. She's the kind of person who keeps showing up, even when her heart feels heavy, even when her prayers feel unanswered, even when it seems like God is far away. She's in church every Sunday. She sings, she serves, she smiles, but inside, she's worn out, spiritually tired, emotionally drained. It didn't start all at once. It was slow, subtle, one disappointment after another. First, the job she prayed for didn't come through. Then the relationship she hoped would lead to marriage suddenly ended. And when her mom got sick again, she prayed harder than she ever had before, but nothing changed. She's doing everything she's supposed to do, reading the Word, fasting, worshiping, but her faith feels like it's leaking through cracks she can't seal. She opens her Bible but finds it hard to focus. She bows her head, but the words won't come. She's trying to trust. But deep down, she's wondering if her trust even matters. And the hardest part? It feels like everyone else is moving forward. Answered prayers, testimonies, celebrations, while she is just trying to make it through the day without crying. She's happy for them. Truly, but a part of her aches. Because she's still waiting, still stuck, still in the middle of a storm that no one else seems to see. She doesn't talk about it. She doesn't want to sound ungrateful. But deep down, she's asking, "God, why not me? What am I doing wrong? Are you still there?" And in that quiet place, Rachel isn't losing her belief in God. She's just losing the strength to keep pretending she's okay.
You know that feeling, right? But we don't often talk about these moments as Christians. When you're trying so hard to stay positive, to believe that God is working behind the scenes, but the scenes aren't changing. You watch others testifying, posting praise reports, walking into blessings, and you're just trying to keep your head above water. You're battling thoughts no one sees. Quiet question that keeps circling in your mind. Why not me? What am I missing? That's the thing about storms. They don't just shake your world. They shake your faith. But faith isn't always loud and confident. Sometimes it's holding on by a thread. Sometimes it's whispering, "I still believe," through tears. In that space, where answers feel far away and the silence feels personal, the storm becomes more than just a circumstance. It becomes a test of what you really believe about God. And no one tells you how lonely that place can be when everyone else is shouting, "God came through," and you're still waiting, still wondering if he ever will. But Scripture reminds us in 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. You don't have to be strong to stay in the fight. Even faith as small as a mustard seed still holds power. When Paul cried out for relief, God didn't remove the struggle. He revealed that grace is often clearest in our weakness. This verse reminds us that even fragile faith is still real faith, and God's strength is often revealed through what feels like our breaking point. Here's what I noticed, and it's something many of us miss when we're hurting. God is never absent. At times, He's just quiet, like a teacher during a test, present but silent. Sometimes faith isn't proven in the answered prayers. Sometimes it's proven in the waiting, in the trusting, in the choosing to believe. Hard. Because in the middle of the storm, it's not that God stops speaking. It's that He's teaching you to hear Him differently. Not in the thunder, not in the earthquake, but in the still small whisper. Just like Elijah in 1 Kings chapter 19. The Lord was not in the wind, not in the earthquake, not in the fire. After the fire came a gentle whisper. In moments of darkness, I want you to remember the story of Peter. He walked on water, but the moment he took his eyes off Jesus, when his attention shifted to the waves and the wind, he began to sink. But Matthew 14 says, immediately, Jesus reached out His hand and caught him. Jesus didn't wait for Peter to figure it out or let him drown in doubt. He simply reached out because that's what grace does. So don't let fear and doubt drown you. Don't let the noise of the storm make you forget who's in it with you. The wind may not stop right away. The storm may not calm instantly. But the miracle's not always in the storm going away. In the presence of a hand that never lets go. That realization changed everything for me. And I pray it changes something in you too. So what can we learn from all of this? Romans 1:17 says, the righteous shall live by faith, not by feelings, not by results, but by faith. Because storms aren't meant to drown you. They're meant to build something in you. Deeper trust, a quieter strength, a faith that doesn't need signs to keep walking. Just a quiet yes, one day at a time. Faith isn't proven when life is easy. It's forged in the waiting, in the wondering, in the moments where nothing makes sense, but you choose to trust anyway. James 1 says that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. That means God doesn't allow the storm to destroy you. He allows it to strengthen you, to refine you, to teach you to listen in new ways, to teach you how to walk, even when you can't see the path. Because real peace isn't found in having control. It's found in surrender. If you're walking through a storm today, let this be your reminder. You are not faithless because you feel tired. You are not far from God just because He feels silent. And you are not failing just because you're struggling. You are being refined. You are being held. And even when you can't feel it, you are being carried. Isaiah 43:2 promises, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze. The storm will pass, but what it produces in you will remain. So take heart, God is still in control, and He'll never let you go. When the sky's finally clear, you'll look back and realize how much you've grown and how deeply your roots now run. I'm glad you're still here. Share this with someone. You never know who needs to hear this. Subscribe. Become part of a growing community of believers where your faith is nurtured and your heart is seen. God's not done with you, so stay hopeful.